Hey everybody, it's time to face the music, and today I thought I would play some music for you with royalty named in the title of the songs actually. And I've started off, I'm just going to turn this up for a little bit because I'm not sure you'll be able to hear it very well. There we go. I've started off with The Doors, and this is Queen of the Highway from their Morrison Hotel album, and this was released in 69 or 70 or something. It was their 5th album, and it was kind of a return to form because the previous album hadn't done very well and it was very experimental. So with this particular album, they didn't have any hits on it at all, but this song reminds me very much of their earlier stuff. Anyway, this is The Doors with Queen of the Highway. Anyway, let's move on now to this is one of my favorites from my youth. I remember my school band playing this in high school actually, and somebody singing, one of the guys singing. I thought this was the coolest thing ever. And this is Dire Straits with Sultans of Swing, and this is from their first album called Dire Straits. And Dire Straits were formed in the late 70s. They're English, if I didn't already say that. Late 70s to late 80s, and then they reformed again in the early 90s and did a bit of touring in the early 90s, and then split up. And they are number 5 on the UK list of the most weeks ever on the charts. They had 1,100 weeks on the charts. This was one of their first hits in North America. And their Brothers in Arms CD from the mid-80s was the first CD, or the first CD ever to sell 1 million copies in CD form. That was the album that had I Want My MTV, or Money for Nothing, sorry, it was called Money for Nothing on it. And this song was such a different style to what was really huge in England at the time, which was punk and new wave. This was something very different to that. Anyway, that's Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits. Next, I'm going to move on to another English band, and that's The Police with King of Pain. Now, they were formed in the late 70s in London to the mid-80s, and then of course Sting went on to have a hugely successful solo career, and got well known for other things such as tantric yoga and things like that. And this song was from Synchronicity from the early 80s and was written by Sting after he split from his wife. So it must have been a wife before he was married to Trudy. Now, The Police are one of the best-selling artists in the world. They sold over 75 million albums in the 10 years that they were together. They were hugely successful. Anyway, that's King of Pain by The Police. I'm going to move on to something a bit more recent. This is from 2006. So I was hoping you could hear the King of Pain. This has a hugely long intro. So I'll just do a bit of chit-chat first. This is Knights of Sidonia, Knights like that ride on a horse and joust, by Muse. Another English band, actually. And this is from their Muse's 2006 album, Black Holes and Revelations. And this song goes on the intro, there's a guitar intro to this song that's 2 minutes long. And so I'm going to just fast forward through that for you a little bit because you don't want to listen to all that. Can't play the whole song, so I need to just go a bit forward for you here. It goes on and on and on and on and on. There we go. Now it turns out that Sidonia, which is Cydonia, is a region on Mars, on the planet Mars, and it's apparently quite well known in some circles, I guess, but that's where the name came from. And this song is all about, it's supposed to tell people, to teach people to stand up for themselves and make the most of their own destiny. And perhaps maybe the Mars mission in 2025 or whenever it is will go to Sidonia. Anyways, I love Muse, so I just want to listen to a little bit of this song. Music is always so, I see this being very dramatic. Anyway, this song has been used a fair bit in television, in ads, in sports, usually with a lot of sporting events they use this music. Anyway, that's Knights of Sidonia by Muse. And the last song that I'm going to play for you today is by my favorite Icelandic band of Monsters and Men. And that's King and Lionheart. And this is from their first album. It was released in 2013 as a single. And I know I've played of Monsters and Men on here before, but I just really like their music, and I think that Icelandic music is so distinct and unique, as we heard in my episode on Icelandic music. And it just made me, the title of the song, King and Lionheart, made me think of Richard the Lionheart, who was King of England from 1189 to 1199, and is one of the few English kings not to be known by, you know, Richard III or Richard II or whatever Richard he was, but by his sort of nickname, for lack of a better word, which is Richard the Lionheart. Anyway, that's of Monsters and Men, King and Lionheart. So there's a little bit of music with royal names, I suppose in honor of the about to be born royal baby, maybe. Just remember that I don't hold the copyright to any of this music, that rests with the copyright holder, and don't steal music, while you're in music. Give the artists the credit they deserve. Thanks for watching.